All right, let's make this trading thing too easy. Welcome to the weekly recap and watch list. What we don't predict, we confirm. Let's start with MCHP, Microchip Technology. So MCHP did make the projected move, pushing up about $3.43 on the week and hitting a resistance of $70.74. On the weekly, it looked like a clean liquidity sweep. The daily time frame, however, still shows a confirmation to the upside. It bounced off the 200 MA and into a internal bearish order block. So look for a pullback and a continuation to the upside when it breaks this trend line, this downward trend line. The next ticker, Yum Brands. So Yum did push up early in the week. I think it was on Monday to around $153.22 before pulling back against the downward trend line on the weekly. It had 2 green days before pulling back for the rest of the week, more than likely because of the Jackson Hole event. It did stay above the 12 cloud, which is a great indicator for maintaining an upward move. The next ticker is DAL, Delta Airlines. So Delta broke above the weekly trend line last week and it continued to move to the upside. Monday, it started off strong before pulling back on Tuesday through Thursday, more than likely anticipating the Jackson Hole event as well. And on Friday, it made a strong move to the upside, reclaiming the 12 EMA cloud and the WTMA. This thing still has room to run to at least $63.43. We find this out on the 4-hour time frame. The next ticker is ONC. The next ticker, ONC, is still holding above the WTMA on the weekly, so the uptrend remains intact. On Monday, it pushed to the level of $330.63 on Monday and then pulled back all the way to 302.08, and now it's trying to reclaim the WTMA on the daily. The last ticker for last week is Chewy. So Chewy had a heavy pullback, tapping the $41.82 level before closing down $39.06. Moving on to the daily, it is sitting at a historical resistance and support zone, and it might bounce off the 12 cloud if confirmation lines up. So this trade is not invalidated as of yet. All right, looking at the 825 watch list. First up, we have Wells Fargo, WFC. So on the monthly chart, we're bouncing off the 12 EMA cloud right here. On the weekly time frame, we had a slight pullback for 3 weeks and a bounce, closing near the 79.31 level. On the daily time frame, we have a strong bullish candle right after an inverse arc, and it bounced off of this 4-hour bullish order block right here. Speaking of the 4-hour, we have so much confluence on this time frame that it screams nothing but bullish. We have the 200 moving average. We have a bullish order block, an internal bullish order block formed by a liquidity sweep. We also have a fresh inverse arc. We have a break of historical resistance, and we have a fresh break of the 4-hour trend line. I'm targeting anywhere from 79.73 on this. If it breaks above that, this thing could run easily to 81.48. The next ticker we have is CVX, Chevron. So on the weekly time frame, we had a fresh break. We have a fresh breach above the downward trend line, and it closed above the WTMA on the weekly. Go ahead and go on the daily time frame. The daily time frame shows a little bit of consolidation. It freshly broke over the historical resistance that was at $150.07 level, setting up for a breakout. Go ahead and look at the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we breached the bearish order block, and if we could open and close above the $158.53 level, we're looking at targets near 160, and after that, 166. The next ticker is Honeywell, HON. So the monthly shows a bullish trend, reclaiming the 12 cloud as well. On the weekly, we found support at the $215.10 level, broke above resistance at 220. That's 220.93. And on the daily time frame, we formed a bullish order block and a strong bull candle above the 12 MA cloud. All we need to do now is break over the level of $223.19 for the continuation to the upside. Go ahead and look at the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, we have historical resistance. We have a bullish order block, a bullish order block here, and we have an upward trend line that it bounced off of for the strong move to the upside. So we're still looking at this $223 level for the continuation to the upside, and then the next resistance will be $224.87. Next ticker is Dell Technologies, DELL. So as you can see on the monthly time frame, we have two floating candles after an inverse arc. Go ahead and look at the weekly. We have a reclaim of the 12 EMA and a breach of the WTMA here. Go ahead and look at the daily. So on the daily, we have 1, 2, 3 order blocks. That is more than enough confluence for a move to the upside. As you can see, last time it hit this level, it went up all the way to $142 before pulling back to this same level. So I'm looking for the same move on this. Go ahead and look at the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we even have more confluence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 order blocks right above the 200 moving average. And as you can see, the WTMA is starting to curl, and so is the 12 EMA. If we dig down a little deeper to the 3 hour, we might see a little more. Yep. As you can see on the 3 hour, we have a fresh inverse arc with the 200 moving average and a bullish order block. All we need to do now is open and close above the 12 cloud, and we're ripping it at least until 136.13. And the last ticker for this week is SoFi. As you can see, fresh floating candle on the monthly, but the month isn't closed yet. On the weekly, we have a reclaim of the WTMA nearing all-time highs. On the daily time frame, we have a fresh inverse arc that happened on Thursday with a strong bullish candle on Friday. We also had a liquidity sweep on Wednesday, validating this bullish order block a couple weeks ago. Go ahead and look in the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, we have a fresh inverse arc, strong bullish candle, and a breach of a historical resistance level before pulling back into a fair value gap. If this breaches this historical resistance again, I'm going to go ahead and do our fib extensions. I'll be targeting 25.80 and then 26.66 for the next moves up. Well, that's my recap and my watch list heading into the new week. Let me know what tickers you're watching down in the comments. Like and subscribe if this helps you. It helps me more than you know. And if you're tired of guessing and want to trade with confirmation, grab the same system I use at the link below. Trade with eyes, not emotions.